My name is Laura Saylor. I am a graduated student. I just graduated in June. I am an 09 Latin American Studies major, and I have worked at the Tucker Foundation mostly in the capacity of the Nicaragua CCESP, which stands for Cross-Cultural Education and Service Program.
My name is Ahmed Naziri. I'm an 11, so I'm here for sophomore summer, and I'm studying history. I've mostly been involved with the Office of Religious and Spiritual Life, among other things at Tucker.
So today what we want to do is just give you a brief overview of the Tucker Foundation and some of the opportunities that exist for students on campus. This is the mission statement of the Tucker Foundation, and in order to achieve this, we have many different programs. There are internships, there are student groups, there are opportunities to do work during spring break or winter break, and that's basically what we're going to talk to you about today.
And obviously, as she said, there are many opportunities for students to get involved at both local, national, and international levels. And Dartmouth also encourages students through the outreach program, which basically focuses, or there are programs available for students to go out in the greater Upper Valley community, or even we have at least one program that focuses on high school students from different states even. And also Office of Religious and Spiritual Life, we have the Multi-Faith Council and other student-based organizations. Basically, so Tucker serves as an umbrella for most religious student organizations on campus.
So the Tucker Foundation has basically 3 branches of service that they work in: national, international, and local service, and then we also have a school outreach program, which is another branch of the foundation. International service is the capacity which I have worked the most in at the foundation, so I'll talk about that first a little bit. Students have the opportunity to get fellowships, which are up to $4,000 in funding, to go on an off term to a community service organization in a country of their choice and do an independent service project. Additionally, we have the DRASB, which is a program to work in Haitian communities in the Dominican Republic during spring break. We also have the Nicaragua program, which is the one that I'm most involved in, which goes during winter break. It's a service trip which works in both a clinical and community development capacity. And then also, it's never too early to sort of start thinking about some of the post-grad opportunities for students that are available. And the Lewin Fellowship is one of those opportunities through the Tucker Foundation, where students are able to get up to $15,000 in funding to do a full year, an 8 months to 12-month fellowship in a community service organization, either nationally or internationally.
Also, in terms of spring break trips, we have different trips that go anywhere from Vermont to Virginia to Florida to Biloxi to San Francisco. I think there's even one in South Dakota. So there are various opportunities where this is basically a program where a group of over 10 students go out and do service for the whole spring break, which is about 10 days or so. Also, Tucker offers the fellowships for off term. If you want to take an off term, if you want to take a term off to do service, it's a great opportunity to cover your costs, and Tucker funds up to $4,000 for that. Similarly, there's a program for a post-grad program. So after basically it's the same thing as the off-term program, but it's for a longer period, and it's after you graduate.
So if a student is interested in getting involved in service on campus, there are many opportunities for them to work locally within the Upper Valley community. There are usually about 40 to 50 projects that are going on at any given point. Most of these are student-led, and they're working with community service organizations in the Upper Valley. A lot of times these endeavors have to do with youth mentoring, food and shelter awareness, community health, and also education. These are some of the programs. Sorry. No problem. These are some of the programs. I just listed a few of them, a few examples. If students are interested in getting involved locally, they can always come to the foundation, speak with a program officer, see what opportunities would really fit their interests that they have for working in a local capacity.
In terms of local outreach, there are many programs like America Reads, which is one of the programs that I have been most involved with. And basically the way it works is we go to local elementary schools and tutor elementary school students, mostly working with them one-on-one. And I was amazed by how intelligent these students were at that young age, and how much you can learn from them. And also there are other programs like Rivendell Mentoring and Book Buddies and so on. But these programs also exist at like a national level, for example, SEED.
Yeah, so one of the programs that's currently actually going on campus right now is a SEED program. This stands for Summer Enrichment at Dartmouth. This is for students from under-resourced high schools throughout the country to come and work for 2 to 3 weeks with Dartmouth students. They have workshops on leadership, on study skills, and also to sort of improve some academic capacities as well. And these students actually come here for 3 successive years. So it's a full program for the students in order to sort of prepare them to start thinking more about education after high school.
In terms of religious and spiritual life, one of the major things that Tucker offers is the Multi-Faith Council, where it's basically trying to encourage people of different faith backgrounds coming together. And we usually have on a regular basis, we have a dinner, and we have weekly discussions talking about anything from nature and faith to science and faith. Also we offered, there was a living and learning community, which was basically a floor of about 12 students having weekly meetings, discussing, kind of having the same discussions or doing certain activities. We also encourage students to do service coming from different faith backgrounds. So one of the things they recently created was the alternative spring break, where there are people, and I mean by faith I don't mean religion in any way. It could be as broadly defined as you want it to be. So the alternative spring break, we basically went to San Francisco for this past year, and during the day we'd do service, and then at the end of the day we'd have reflections on different topics or how our faith affects the service that we have done. Yeah, and we'll take any questions you have. Also, just hopefully this gave you like a brief overview of what Tucker is. Obviously we couldn't cover everything in 10 minutes, and I encourage you to learn.
Anyone have any questions about the certification? Yes.
I just talked yesterday with one of the people at Tucker about the community-based learning approach. And now there are actually now more and more classes at Dartmouth where the learning is better because they're doing it in conjunction with service. Do you have any experience with those, or is there anything you could comment about?
Yeah, well, the Community-Based Learning Initiative is actually a new initiative that's starting up in the fall, I believe, or maybe that was the program officer that you were talking to, in which some professors are agreeing to have a community-based component to their courses, whatever they might be. Some professors were already doing this before there was actually a formalized program, and one example would be there's a class on prisons in the sociology department, I believe, and then that professor would actually take their students to the local prison system that exists in, I believe it is Vermont, in order to sort of have that more community-based component. This is one thing that I sort of confronted a little bit in the Nicaragua CCSP, and the CCSP strives to have both an educational and service component, in that you're learning while you're on the ground, talking with people, seeing the issues sort of face to face. So for me, as a graduate student, it's sort of unfortunate that this initiative is taking place now for myself, but it's a great opportunity for students to get involved. And I believe eventually the idea is to have, we have the distributive requirements that exist, and there will be some sort of designation on the courses in the course catalog as to whether they have a community-based learning component or not.
Also, just briefly to add to that, Tucker does try to get as many faculty involved as they can. There is a program called Why It Matters and What Matters, What Matters to Me and Why, where faculty basically comes and talks to a group of students and other Tucker stuff, which if students are interested can go. And that happens on a regular basis. So they do try to encourage as much interaction between students with them.
Other questions? All right, well, if anybody has anything else, we'll be here right after the presentation to answer anything else.
Thank you.